This is a follow up video on the shadow work for the people who really want to get to their next level or to be the best creation that the mankind or the species that the man is. The shadow work is the last stop. The shadow work is the shit where you become that what you're supposed to be as per Bible or as per other religions or as per other thoughts of understanding or thought processes and philosophies. Shadow work is not for the faint of heart. Shadow work is for those warriors, is for those people who are done with settling down, who are done with being comfortable, who are ready to move on to the next level of them, the next level of that self, who has that insane capacity, insane potential, and who are serious about being true themselves, true self, who has that magical, divine, or fully engaged and opened up self, higher self, with higher resourcefulness, higher powers, on feet thinking, and all of the above. Because shadow work is about going beyond your levels of comfort zones, whether it's about money, whether it's about lust, whether it's about anger management, or whether it's about egoistic pride, because these are basic five shortcomings of human psyche: anger, lust, egoistic attachment, greed, and so on. So main five are the aspects of the loopholes in human psychology, which misaligns a human being and misaligns them and keeps us bifurcated, divided into different personality types, where our powers are not integrated, are not one. And that's why we have all these internal conversations and sadness and anxieties and stuff and so on. So while the rest of the world teaches you to run away from the fiery building or the burning building, the job of the one who's doing shadow work is to run into the fiery building, is to run towards the house on fire or the building on fire. In the process, you're letting go that comfort zone and you're entering that fire, which will burn you. And you have to stand aside and watch your body, your inner self, that is not you, burn. And you have to, while you're being burned, you have to watch yourself being burned at the same time. You have to witness it all, so you can only find that what you thought was your body, that what you thought was your shortcoming, does not, did not, and will never define you. And yes, nobody can go with you. Nobody will go with you. None of the loved ones will go with you. Rather, they will call you crazy. People will leave you, and they must, they should, because who would do that? Nobody will do that. Who would understand that? Nobody would understand that. Nobody of the sane mind will call it a good process because they don't understand it. They would call you stupid. They would call you naive. Whatever they may call it, does not matter. So one of the biggest fight is also that you're left alone, that there's no one with you, and that only you has to pick up those wounds, cut that part off, and then allow yourself to heal. Now the healing process is where it can be traumatic. Before the healing begins, it is traumatic because you're probably left crying in tears. Not only that, you have to cut into your own wound to go deeper. You have to cut into your own flesh to go deeper. You have to find that spot where it really, really, really hurt, and the subconscious mind has kept it from being very overwhelming. Now, mind it, a lot of people come to coaches who are, you know, experienced, who have gone through these processes, so they do it in a very nice way. They give you the anesthesia, they put you out, and they very artfully, masterfully dig in, and you don't even realize anything is going on because you're in the la la land yourself. And meanwhile, for the people who are doing it to themselves, with themselves, through themselves, this is a very, 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 very painful. And I usually compare it to, being a surgeon when it comes to coaches who have to do that, because coaches will go through that. Because otherwise, you have to, because you have to, the common thought process is fake it till you make it. However, I don't say fake it, because fake is the word that you already know that you are not it. And faking cannot be being it. How? So I say pretend it till you make it. But that doesn't rhyme. So pretend it till you make it, because while pretending you learn, while pretending you get the habit of it. Now I could be wrong in my process, everybody has their opinion. So when it comes to a coach doing that, when it comes to someone who's themselves a coach and they don't have a coach, or they don't have a way to get a coach, because nowadays coaches, they charge you money all the time. You can't just go in, can you please help me out? And most of them will say, nah, you have money, get in touch with me when you have money to pay me, because my time is worth it. So most of the coaches do that, and because of which some of the coaches, they are left out. And to give you a heads up, yes, this is a very painful process. If you choose to enter it yourself, I would recommend get a good coach who has experienced stuff like this, and who can make your journey easy, so that you don't even realize by the time you wake up, it's all done. So you have to be honest, you have to be sincere, with yourself. You have to acknowledge your own inner, pretenders, or on inner liars, the one who lies to self or who lies to others. You have to come clean every time, so that the one who's faking shit being technical term, doesn't have a face or mask to put on. You may, in the process, you may end up lying. You may end up, doing things that are beneath you, below you. Because remember, shadow exists beneath, below. So it's accessing those parts of you that are below you, only to redeem the demons, so that the demons can be godly and divine. It even includes sometimes, and actually a lot of times, those, at least those who are near you and dear to you, coming to them clean, sincere, and even telling them, agreeing, admitting, okay, I'm weak, okay, I did this, okay, I did that. Now you're not doing it for the other person, even though you feel like you are, but you're not doing this for the other person, you're doing it for you, because you're holding yourself to the level of sincerity. Because there is a shadow so far till you fix it, who is beneath you, who is under you, and you refuse to be that, you refuse to be identified with that. So you're basically, giving the other person the intel on you, a part of you that has been cheating you, that has been making you do things that you believe are beneath you, so that you can take that mask off, so you can get rid of that part of you. So the other person, meanwhile, is going to take your words and judge you. The other person is going to take your words and really judge you. They're going to show you how, lowly you are, how downtrodden you are. They're going to show you how immature you are. They're going to tell you, how this is not normal, because normal people, they don't do this, they don't run into the fiery buildings, they hide, they cry in while, when they're alone, when no one's watching, while looking good to the whole world. It's the ones who have, let go, that need to look good when actually you're not looking good. It's the ones that put on all that makeup while what's underneath that makeup doesn't seem that get that good to themselves. So they can have that dual personality where they are something else, but they project or want to project something else. And in the world that is as crazy as that, people who are the ones who refuse to put makeups, or the ones who refuse to, for personal experience, for myself, let's say, shave, so that I could look good and I could do all that. Such people are definitely an outcast, but not an outcast because they are lower, not an outcast because they have compromised, not an outcast because they don't deserve to live in good things or to live in comfort, but because they have a different home, which is in the hills higher than the grounds that common man chooses to live on. It's not about selling yourself, not at all. Because in order to for you to sell yourself, you have to first measure yourself. What is my worth? And then you have to go out in the market to see what the average person's price is, how they see themselves, what their price is, how and what they are selling themselves on. So that market and that selling process is what these people who run into the fiery buildings, who work on the dark shadows, who go into all these trenches where no one dares to go or wants to go, cutting out all the comfort, cutting open your own flesh to see the inner wounds. These are the people who refuse to put value on self, because self is invaluable. I mean, if I could put a value on myself, that would be infinite. The whole universe could be against me, and I would stand with me. And I would not sell myself in exchange for anything. I will not sell myself in exchange for the whole divinity, for the whole universe itself, because what could I even buy, and how could I even enjoy something in return for myself? How could I even enjoy if I've already sold myself? And it's this selling and buying and this measuring process which has entered the mindset of a common man, because of which the 99.99% of people face depressions and limitations and feeling stuck and feeling lost, because that comfort zone is not transgressed, and that daring, where does that daring attitude comes from? Where would that much fire come from? You gotta have fire within to be able to run into fiery buildings, because everyone wants to just get an idea of what you are, where you are, your worth, and they want you to believe what they believe because they have logical reasons to believe so. So running into the fiery buildings is, you have to make up your mind. You have to have that enough. It doesn't matter what kind of transformation you're looking for. I mean, some people are looking for huge transformations. Some people are looking for to turning into angels from being a man or a woman. Meanwhile, some people are only looking to increase their worth, increase their value, so that they could sell themselves better. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with it, because there is actually no right, no wrong. You deserve to increase your value. You deserve to have more worth. You deserve it. And it's just that only very few people, and these are crazy people. Like uh, the, the history has always called them madmen, Socrates and Aristotle and So many of the thinkers, so many of the philosophers who realized that they have that worth were actually called madmen. Common men at some point or the other called them madmen. So those are the extremists. I would say, I'm not saying that you go be an extremist, but what I'm suggesting and recommending is that yes, in order to gain some value, some more worth, some more worth, some more worth, some more worth than where you are right now, you must come to that realization that you gotta see yourself before makeup, then seeing yourself after makeup. You gotta look at your face without the makeup, and you gotta ask yourself or tell yourself, don't I look beautiful? Don't I look beautiful? Don't I look amazing? Don't I deserve love? And then not only uh, recognize all those blemishes, all those things that you have been hiding, all those scars maybe that you've been hiding, all those birthmarks maybe that you've been hiding. Now, mind it, these are all metaphors that I'm utilizing. All these those unwanted features of your face maybe that you have been hiding. Um, when you're looking at yourself, your true version, how do you carry yourself? What do you look at those as? Do you accept them as yours, or do you want to change them? The liberation is in accepting them. Changing them is putting on a mask. The problem happens not because you put on a mask. I'm not saying don't put a mask. What I'm saying is problem happens when you put on a mask and then you begin to identify with that mask. Then every time that mask is not there, especially when you are with you end up rejecting, suppressing, repressing yourself. And that's the part which causes that misalignment between who you are and who you think you are. Because that misalignment, like you believe that you are here, let's say I'm in Mississauga and I have to go to Toronto, and I have to put that in the GPS. But if I'm actually in Oakville, but I keep putting the beginning point as Mississauga to Toronto, then it's not gonna work. I'm still gonna be lost because I'm actually in Oakville, but I'm choosing to say, no, no, I'm in Mississauga, I'm in Mississauga, I'm in Mississauga, yeah. And I've been rejecting the fact that I'm in Oakville, and because of which I feel lost, because of which, even though the map is right in front of me, I feel that, oh, what's causing all this? Why am I missing? The map is here. How come this street doesn't match up? How come where I am it doesn't show any left, even though it shows that it's take left? So everybody says take left. This GPS says take left. There's no left here. What do I do now? What do you do now is look into that self, accept that self, and then only you would be able to uh, find that path. Find that path. And for that, you would have to burn that other mask that you've been wearing. You would have to break it. And that part of you says, I am. When you say, who are you? That part of you says, I am me. That part recognizes with your name. That part recognizes with your identity that you think you are. And that part, in a way, responds to your name. However, that is not yourself. That is a part of yourself you thought you were, but that's been long gone. Actually, you're not in that place anymore. You're not that in that state anymore. It's like cutting off the nails and then still identifying this is me, and choosing to keep those nails on your hand or maybe glue it together. So you get what I'm saying. This is the process of doing the shadow work. This is how painful it is. This is, as long as you're doing it without a coach. So my recommendation, if you can, hire a coach, get a coach, so you can actually do it in a way which is seamless and painless. For those who may not be able to hire a coach, reach out. Maybe I can guide you. if not do the whole help, complete help, because obviously putting your time in does mean money. Time is money to some extent or the other, even though money is nothing but only energy, but still it's yours. You stay blessed. God bless.